Now, did she ask if you're nuts?
I got
Oh, did you say that's what happened nuts or am I nuts?
That did happen.
No, no nuts.
No nuts.
I can eat almonds, cashews, peanuts.
I'm curious to see how the Fridays end up, you know, indulging too much.
I said be your own bag.
Your own bank. BYOB.
We are our own.
Bring your own Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Bring your own Bitcoin. There you go.
yeah. That's a good one. Actually, yeah, that'd make a fun thing for you to do, wouldn't it?
Bring your own Bitcoin.
No, the different words.
Yeah. Well, we could also make it bring your own Bitcoin to the tournaments too. Bring your own.
What?
BYOB. I don't know if we got anyone on Zoom, but I've got the Zoom going and I got the camera going because we're testing out the lighting here tonight to see if that's going to be good. And hopefully by the actual Thursday meetup, I'll have not only the 3-point lighting system working, which is ideally over here, so my head won't disappear in the whiteboard anymore. You know, when you got just glasses and a goatee walking around, it's.
If you'd like, we could have outlined it for you.
Oh
We
man, I
were
tell
talking
you.
with that.
If you do some of those special effect things, I can be a ghost. Like it's so easy.
We're gonna have to take that.
Got my Christmas. Yeah, I know it's suddenly here.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, just like that, eh? I got my frosty mug with my adult beverage.
Apple juice.
Apple juice with fuzz in it. Okay. NewbieTues Tuesday. I don't have any jokes or anything. I like stays. Totally unprepared too. That's normal. But you guys heard any news? What did you review this week, Andre?
More of that.
Okay, not doing as much crypto.
Some crypto.
Yeah.
Kind of mix it up a little. Yeah. Talking about the same thing over and over and over again.
You want to make you rich?
SPF,
Yeah.
FTX,
Yeah. It's a classic.
Luna Classic. Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, Elon Musk is making Doge happen. That's for sure. I mean, did you guys see that he's going to be putting it into Twitter?
Yeah. Have
Yeah,
you
that
announced
doesn't surprise me. I think Twitter's gonna be much more than people think.
Oh, it's going to be, well, think of where Elon Musk's background comes from, PayPal. So payment system is natural. He's going to do Twitter as a payment system. The guy loves Doge. What do you think he's going to use? He's going to use Doge as a payment system right within Twitter. And that's part of the reason why Doge has been pumping recently and probably will continue to pump for the foreseeable future because Doge is, I've always liked them. Well, I've got the license plate to prove it.
It's a joke. It started as a joke.
I know. Yeah, it was a meme token. The developer actually put it out to show how ridiculous it was to create a token that you could just make, put out there, and had zero value. And so what he did is he put it out there. He never took any tokens. He never doesn't have any big billions of dollars worth of tokens. And he was kind of throwing it out there to be in your face. But what he didn't account for was a cute dog, right? And as soon as the cute dog got in there, people love dogs. Well, that was it. I mean, you know, once you got the cute dog on there, the memes started going, and it was Reddit that really pumped up. Are you guys all familiar with Reddit? Do you read Reddit? You should also subscribe to some of the subreddits specifically to crypto. Like Bitcoin subreddit now is kind of toxic, but some of the others are good. Cryptocurrency Reddit is good, and some of the breaking news things is good. The Doge channel is good. So I always encourage people to go onto Reddit. BitcoinTalk.org. Has anybody heard of that one? BitcoinTalk.org. That is the old school way of crypto. Like that was where when I first started into crypto in 2013, that was the only reliable place to get information. And it still remains a treasure trove of information in terms of anybody who's got old miners they want to get going, or you want to do any research about the prices of crypto or what was happening in crypto in 2010, 2009, like when it first came out. All that stuff, including some of Satoshi's original posts, are all on BitcoinTalk.org. So that's one that the provenance on that one is fantastic. It's got, you know, it's been out forever. It's just the thing that most people don't like about it now is that it's kind of old school looking. Like, it's not nice. It's like it's, if you remember in the day, because you're involved in the industry, what the old school forums used to look like.
Yeah.
And that's what it still looks like. And it's like that on purpose. I mean, it's fast, it works, and it's got a huge, huge archive. And I think the archive is so huge that they just can't change it at this point. It's just, it would be too much risk to change it. So BitcoinTalk.org. That's a very good learning tool. Since we're here on NewbieTues Tuesday, you want to do your research, especially for you, Andre. If someone tells you about a coin that they say has been around forever, go and look back on the BitcoinTalk.org launch date, when they launched it, and go and look and see what some of the people who are really, really knowledgeable are saying about it, because you can get some valuable information that way. And so that's a really good one. BitcoinTalk.org. So, have you guys been seeing Sam Bankman-Fried's interviews? Anybody watched any of those?
I haven't been able to stomach those.
Oh
No,
my
I understand
God,
that.
this guy, the gall of it. It's just ridiculous. He's trying to come off as this guy that's, oh, poor me, I made an $8 billion mistake. Oh, I wasn't watching. He owns 90% of Alameda, which is the subsidiary company that was borrowing money through FTX. And so he owns 90% of that. And he's trying to say that I didn't know what was going on. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
the biggest bull.
You know, and most people are now calling for him to get put in prison. Like even Elon Musk tweeted, "Let's put him into big boy prison," because you know he's saying things that are just absolutely ludicrous. You can't do it. Oh, whoopsie, $8 billion gone. But news articles now are saying that he should not be saying a word.
He's been admitting his guilt in these things.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. Did you guys see the interview with CopyZilla? CopyZilla is a really good YouTuber who is he kind of his whole shtick is that he's a detective, internet sleuth, if you will, and he exposes scams and he exposes. Oh, it's really entertaining to watch some of his stuff because he goes after people like this guy, and he actually ended up getting in on a conference call with Sam Bankman-Fried, and he hit him with some really hard questions. But CopyZilla is a really good YouTube.
Coffee or coffee?
Coffee, that's it, the coffee you drink. CopyZilla.
And Litecoin.
Litecoin's good.
Yeah.
Litecoin's doing extremely well. It's up and holding too. Conversation, I've had this conversation before. I told people Litecoin is a good long-term project. Do you guys know why Litecoin pumped and why it's probably going to continue to pump?
No.
There's two schools of thought. The first one is on the halving. The halving is coming up next year on Litecoin. They're going to go to 6.25 reward, 6.25 Litecoin for a block reward with the miners. So in other words, all the miners are going to be getting half of their income in a little while. So you know anybody.
Is that again?
Pardon me?
What date is that having again?
I don't know the exact date. Maybe somebody could look that up on their phone. It's based on a block when they hit a certain block. So there's a date range that they predict that the block will the block size will be reduced. And it's so I do know it's going down to 6.25 though, from 12.5 right now. So the rewards are going to go in half for everybody. So let's hope that it's going to continue to pump so that, you know, I don't know anybody, does anybody mine Litecoin? You still mine Litecoin? Yeah, that's what's running in the dock is Litecoin miners are heating this building right now. It's nice and toasty warm in here. We've also got a Bitcoin miner in there too, and a GPU miner as well. One of these kind of guys that's running in there. And again, like Betty said, I ROI'd on them years ago, so now they're just heaters that return. That's all
What are
we're
you
doing.
mining on the GPU?
On the GPU, I'm just sending it to NiceHash right now, just because I don't want to be bothered. I was mining Ethereum before they went to proof of stake, but now that they've gone to proof of stake, I just pointed it to NiceHash. NiceHash will take any kind of mining power that you have. You could literally even log into your computer at home, set up a NiceHash account, and send your CPU power to NiceHash, and you'll get absolutely nothing back. But you can look at the exact same process that would be done if you had, you know, multiple GPUs or like a GPU farm or ASIC farm or whatever. It's the exact same process. So NiceHash is a really good thing for that. You could check out. Even if you got an old machine that has a decent graphics card in it, you'll only earn like pennies a day, but yeah, it's just you get the experience of learning what mining is about, how it works, and all that kind of stuff. And let's remember, Litecoin has been as high as what was $450 Canadian, I think.
Yeah.
You guys notice what's been going on with USDT and USDC? Yeah, a lot of it's got to do with our Canadian dollar, but it's been fluctuating. It was up earlier this morning up to $1.37.
I'm still skeptical about
Well, everybody is, but it's still, when you're in the industry, we have to use Tether or USDC. I mean, it's just nature of the beast.
A lot of stuff going on about Tether still,
Yeah, there's.
but whether it is or isn't, I've seen two different sides. And they both have good arguments. That's the thing. They don't have good arguments with who's behind Tether and what's that it's gonna keep going or it's gonna die. And I don't know which to believe.
Are you talking about the verifiability of their
No,
equity?
just who's behind it, who's gonna keep it going, not so much on the verification, but just that, a lot of people are saying that a lot of the US banks are behind Tether.
Could very well be. I mean, there was investments with XRP as well, but I mean, it's still, it's still a cryptocurrency, decentralized cryptocurrency. But the only one in Canada that's not considered to be absolutely already been deemed not to be a security is USDC. That's the only one. So, and that one is backed 1-to-1. It's created by Circle. NewbieTues Tuesdays, always the first Tuesday of the month. And then we have our intermediate Thursday nights. $5 for the meetup and or 35 nuts. And we also have a yearly membership now for $40. You can just pay $40 once and come to as many meetups as you want for the whole year. Discount code to Winnipeg BTC BTMs and special pricing in computers, laptops, mining equipment. Anybody needs a really nice laptop, we've got some brand new ones that literally, I don't mean like brand new-ish, I mean literally crack the seal, brand new at Winnipeg BTC, and we'll sell them off for cost if everyone wants them because we've had them in inventory just a little too long. There's still full warranty and everything. It's not like Okay, so special pricing computers, laptops, crypto, mining equipment. I found some miners, and they're not a bad price. So if any of you guys know of anyone that's looking for some miners, some Bitcoin miners, some Avalons actually, they're at a pretty good price.
What's the ROI on that now?
Per hour? No, I think it's like 2,000 days or something, really. It's a long time. But you don't look at that, you look for future value and for a heater. Like I need to replace some of my heaters. That's why I'm looking at them, because I've got some S9s in our garage now, and the garage is, it's working, but it's becoming more of a heater than it is a miner. So when that happens, I can sell those ones off and replace them. Probably, I have 6 in there. I've only got 3 of them running right now, and it still keeps it around 0. But in the next little while, I'm going to sell all of them for a really good price, of course, and then put 2, and that's it. Done. 2 what? 2 of the new Avalon miners. Yeah, 200 terahash instead of 14 times 6. So, same amount of energy almost. All miners now are mining for future value, or they need to heat with electricity, because if you live in the country, anybody that does, miners are very efficient. They're like 96-97% efficient at converting electrical energy into heat. That's just because these chips get very, very hot. They have very high-speed fans that blow on the chips, so it works just the exact same process that your standard kind of electric heater does. Electric heater heats up something and it blows air across it. They're exactly like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. No, I heat my whole house with miners.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Think about it though, it's just like, it's a complex,
That's all it is, yeah.
But
What are your guys' thoughts about what happened with the new law, especially for you? The new law that came through about not allowing any more miners in Manitoba. They're not allowing any more large installations.
New mining operations, right? Moratorium on new operations for 18 months.
Yeah.
For what size? Any,
Any size.
any size.
But that's if you're building a new facility.
Yeah.
And with power. But what a lot of people are doing, what we've done, is you find a business that has a big hydro capacity that's not using it.
Yeah.
And you build a facility right beside them, you do a good deal.
Yeah.
And that's exempt because that capacity is already there.
Exactly.
It's already built.
Any property that already has that capacity in place, they're not gonna take it away from it, but they're not gonna pull new permits for 18 months for brand new installation. All right, coffee, tea, water, iced tea, and movie popcorn. Then we got a whole bunch more tea now. We increased the tea selection.
it's nice. I have the orange ginger thing.
Orange
It's quite good.
ginger, good.
Orangey.
A whole bunch of different ones. Help yourself there. And Betty was nice enough to bring us some awesome treats. So we got some shortbread cookies over there.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. Presentations, canned pop, 10 cents at $1. Special drinks are either 35 nuts or $3.50. And, yeah, that's, oh yeah, let's see. So yeah, CryptoNuts is not for profit. It's not about making money. We make money on our other business. CryptoNuts is just about teaching people about crypto. We do have other stuff like t-shirts and stuff like that. $20 for the white, $25 for the black. And presentations, there's a suggestion box in the bathroom if anybody's got a presentation that they want to do or a suggestion that they want or something they want to learn about. We're always looking for that kind of stuff. Anybody wants to do a presentation?
When's it be?
Yeah. Be good for you. And Andre too. Andre's talking about doing a presentation. That'd be great. And feedback, questions,
You
concerns.
should do one.
Yeah, you should. That'd be great. Okay. At CryptoNuts Facebook page, cryptonuts.com, Discord channel at winnipeg.btc.com. And let's see here. Nuts Telegram. Telegram, yes, I got to update that with Telegram in there. Yes, Telegram too as well. On Telegram. Okay. So we have our own token, the Nuts token. We have it. Look at it. But we haven't used it tonight that much, but maybe we'll start using it more as time goes on. I'd like to see us using it more at the Thursday meetings would be good for start using it a little bit more. We'll make some heavy duty incentives or something like that to do it, just to get people using crypto is the main reason. It's not because I care about the filter, it's just to teach people about using crypto so that they're used to using it on a regular basis, you know. If you're making transactions all the time, even if it's with a funny little joke coin, at least you'll know how to do it when the time comes and you want to make a transaction or do something. And you get discounts. Some items are going to have that are only going to be available through Nuts. And of course, you need Nuts to join the CryptoNuts DAO, which I haven't done much work on recently, but it is all the framework is in place, so we got to get that rolled in. All right, so what is money? This is an interesting question, especially as our perceptions of money keep changing along here. You know, I don't know what's going on here with some of the things going on in the world with our base rates going up the way they have and US going up the way it is. Our money's worth less and less all the time. This is more timely information than it's ever had before. I mean, we're seeing unprecedented interest rates going up. And,
tomorrow.
I know.
Minimum.
I know. And, you know, I feel really bad for people that just recently got these extremely large mortgages that are out there now. I don't know how some people are going to even make their payments. I think you're going to see a real drop in housing in Canada. The price of housing is going to go down. It's dropped a lot, yeah.
But looking at, because we're looking for a place, right?
Yeah.
And on a lot of the websites, you're seeing price drop.
Oh, yeah.
Drop, and it's, you know.
Depending on the region, 25%.
Yeah.
So far. So far.
And Toronto's off 50% in sales from last year.
It's off sales and price drop are two
Two
different
different
metrics.
things, yeah. But at least there's listings out there now. For a while there wasn't even listings. People were paying over list.
A lot of places are like that though.
It was.
Especially in certain areas.
Yeah, we had a certain area that was crazy, yeah. And so going down the crypto rabbit hole. Now we are in a rabbit hole now. So money can be anything. These big stones here are actually money. These giant stones. And the larger the stones, the more number of tribespeople that carry it, the more valuable it is. It's the island of Yap in Micronesia. They're ray stones. And it was the center of their trading network. So they would literally get teams of guys that would change off and walk these things from one tribe to another and do transactions that way. So, you know, whatever you say money is, that's what it is. If it's a little piece of plastic in your pocket or a worthless type of coin or anything, that's what money is. And it's all based on human perception. So this is the earliest known struck coin. It's pure gold. 2,500 years ago, it was struck by King Caraccius in Lydia, which is modern day Turkey. And that's the first known minting of an actual coin. I wonder what that sucker would be worth. So 4 types of money. There's bank money. Bank money is really interesting. I mean, I think we've all kind of experienced what bank money is like, right? Bank money, they create money. They'll take $1,000 deposit from you and they'll loan it out 10 times. I guess they can loan it up 9 times. So from your $1,000 deposit, they can loan out another $9,000. So $10,000 from, how is that money? How is that?
Fractional reserve.
Fractional reserve, exactly. They only require banks to keep a percentage of what the people put into it. You know, wait a minute. Isn't that what happened with SPF?
Yeah.
But because they don't have a legal framework, I mean, they even with what happened there, they probably have more liquidity in SBF than most banks do right now. When they go to Royal Bank or CIBC or TD, these guys all have 2.5%, 3.5%.
Actually, there are 2 Canadian banks that have one-to-one reserves.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Which one?
Like a BMO, I think it was BMO.
Well, like little Steinbeck Credit Union, when I checked last, wasn't that long ago, maybe a year ago, it was at 2.5%.
There are only 25 banks in the world that were one-to-one,
Wow,
and 2 of them were Canadian.
that's pretty amazing. That's very well.
Remember that article? I'm going, oh,
Of course,
because they showed the other ones, 50, 60 to 1, 70 to 1, 8 to 1.
now if that was a crypto exchange, we'd have a big problem, right? Like 2-3% of the total, that's all you have. But banks are legislated through the government, so the government says that, hey, if the bank doesn't have your money, we'll back them up to $250,000 depositing insurance in Canada. So I guess you could split, if you have 2.5 million, you can split that up over 10 banks and you're covered through the government. That's not available with exchanges yet. But when Canada and when Royal Bank and CIBC, TD all get involved in crypto in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see all those kind of things available. So
About 3 years.
maybe 5.
10, 12, 14.
Oh, you never know.
On the old system,
Number one, doing
collapsed.
Blunt's out the door.
So that's what fractional reserves are, and that's what bank money is, where they can just invent money. Fiduciary money, that's a promissory note. That's like, a piece of paper where they say you owe, or like a bank draft or check or something like
You
that.
look at an old dollar bill or $5 bill, it says right on there that it's promissory note.
Promissory note, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they promise to give you something. And then fiat money, which is whatever the country says it is. It's not based on gold. Gold standard went out in the 70s. Some people think that money is based on gold. It's not based on anything. And in Canada, there's not even gold reserves to back it up. At least in US, China, even Russia, they have huge gold reserves to back up the country's currency. In Canada, we don't have that because our government doesn't believe that gold is valuable. So we have 0 gold reserves. I can't believe that. We're one of the lowest amount of gold reserves of all the G5 nations. So
And we have gold mines.
I know, we have the gold mines. It makes no sense. China buys up everything they get, even on the world market, increase their gold reserves. So does US, so does several other countries.
All the bricks.
India, it's part of their culture. So India's huge gold reserves, but Canada for some reason doesn't have that. So our money is based on nothing. It's based on, you shouldn't say nothing. It's based on Canada, which is an awesome country, and I'm glad I'm a Canadian and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. But it really is a piece of paper that's just based on the country. You're trusting that your country will get you something for that. It's made out of paper, plastic, cheap metals. It's got no intrinsic value to it. It's just what we say it's worth. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in Canada are a lot of cryptocurrencies. I can't say all, but there are like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin are all considered to be commodities in Canada. There's a couple others too, but it gets kind of dicey, so I won't mention any others. But if you just say Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, even Doge is okay in there. Those are all considered to be commodities in Canada, so you can, you can pay your taxes based on commodity rate, and you won't get a situation where the Canadian government may just say at one point, you own securities, you have to surrender them. Of course, you have to tell them that you have those securities in crypto, but a lot of people like to tell them everything. Who am I to judge? Okay, so commodity money, it really is derived from what people think it's worth. Giant rocks, gold coins, those giant rocks they were carrying around, gold coins, seashells, dolphin teeth. These all can be made. It's usually a scarce resource if it has some sort of a intrinsic value, similar to gold, or they can do other things with it. But it's just mostly perception. I mean, really, gold is not much good for anything, really, which is kind of weird. It's so valuable and it's such a big part of our world. But gold, really, you can't make swords out of it. You can make, connectors. It's very conductive. But other than that,
If you drink it, it gives you really wild dreams.
okay, well, I can't attest to that. I've never drank gold.
Chasing manufacturing for one, same as so.
Yeah, but that's for connectivity, not for much else. I mean, or for tinting, things like that, or for jewelry. I mean, it's not really like steel that, you know, we drive our cars across bridges. I mean, you can't go across the bridge unless there's steel, right? If there's gold in there, it work. But, you know, people say that it's valuable, and so it is. So, they're considered a commodity in Canada. Well, this one I'm going to skip through. It's basically movie money, because I showed this one to Rob before. The movie money. It's just like a US dollar. It's what you see in the movies. And again, it's a piece of paper. You know, it's nothing to it. You know, and I had a buddy years ago who grabbed up my nephew's in the movie business, and he gave me a whole stack of it. It was just like a big stack, you know. And a buddy of mine took one and went to the donut shop and gave them one, and they didn't even look. They just took it, gave him back his change. He said, "Oh, I made a mistake. Well, I don't want to cash that one." He got his money back. But I mean, I was really upset that he did that, because, you know, people do that kind of stuff as a joke, and then you get Secret Service knocking on your door saying, "Hey, you're counterfeiting money." So, you know, you got to be very careful. The government says it's valuable. That's okay. If you say it's valuable, you go to jail.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much, right? So, anyways, I always get a kick out of this one. I do this little thing when it's new people that haven't seen it before, whereby, you know, I say, "I'll trade you this $100 reserve note for $5 Canadian. Who will take it?" And inevitably, someone always says, "I'll give you $5 for that." And then I explain, it's just a piece of paper.
Well, it's like the Zambia's $100 million note.
Oh,
I would like one.
I'd love to have one of those.
Yeah.
I saw a thing where they bought, I can't remember, it was just I think a drink and a sandwich. It was 2 trillion or something like that. It was just like $1 trillion.
I've seen a lot of pictures like the streets in Venezuela,
Litter.
just
Well, they're
literally,
making-
literally,
yeah,
they're
you
making
see-
crafts.
They're making crafts with them. They're building like different little things. with them.
10,000 million.
Yeah.
Million.
Because there's no use for it. So Bitcoin is a commodity. Where is it? It's this, you know, everybody gets hung up on that fact that it's not physical. They want it to be something physical. They want it to be one of these little coins, right? And when it's not, they get really upset. It's like, well, how can it be real if it's not physical? But the thing is that we haven't been using physical money. Like, I gotta tell you, because I use cash pretty much all the time. Everywhere I go, I pay in cash. And they always look at me like I'm nuts.
Yeah.
And they bring me this machine every single time. And I hand them the cash and they go, and this is getting more and more predominant. So,
It's either trying to get change back when they can't count it right.
and they
Oh,
can't
God, yeah,
count
they can't count.
because they're used to just tap, tap, tap. Well,
The new Italian prime minister is urging everybody that cash is king. Use cash every chance you get, make a game out of it. So he's encouraging all the Italians to use cash all the time.
Well,
because then you don't go in debt.
I think the Italians were the highest cash users in the EU. But I watched her speech. She's quite the fiery woman. You know? She's quite nice to watch. And that Italian language is really gives it.
The new premier of Alberta is pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Great lady, moly.
I said, talking with Jordan Pearson, she did an hour-and-a-half interview.
I watched it, yeah, I watched it.
It was
That's pretty
very
good.
interesting.
Who was the interviewer?
With Jordan Peterson.
Oh,
Olivia
yeah.
Smith, the new premier of Alberta,
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one, it was pretty
very
good.
interesting character.
But I did like
So-
the Italian. He was good.
I didn't see that one, I'll have to check
And
that
just
out.
listening to her in Italian is really good. She's just like, whoa.
That's a go, eh?
She's gonna be quite the Italian grandmother.
That'd be awesome. So, you know, so you shouldn't really get hung up on the fact that Bitcoin is digital, because really that's what we're using almost all the time now. We're using our bank cards or tapping, all this kind of stuff. And Bitcoin is just a version of that. It's a digital version of money. And, you know, banks don't have a special place that they keep your money. There's no shelf with your name on it that has $10, $100 bills for your savings accounts. It's just, you get it if you ask for it. But boy, even asking for cash at a bank now, they look at you like you're nuts too.
I'll only give you this much. You can only take this much out
Yeah.
at like the time.
Or let us know a week in advance. What? I just want some money. Like, what do you mean a week in advance? I wanna go buy a car, I wanna buy some people, I wanna buy something. Nah, they just,
Did they ask you?
How much do you want?
What are you using this?
yeah,
for?
None of your damn business.
I know what that.
I smile and say, it's my business, not yours.
Yep, exactly, yep.
And they go, oh, okay.
Yeah, they have to ask, well, they're required, it's not them,
I'm not mad at them, because I know that they have no choice.
it's a requirement, yeah, I mean, even in the crypto business, we have to ask people, it's like, are we gonna? Just tell me it's your money, and you don't want me to know that, perfect. Okay, so, cash is not around much anymore, so digital is not the issue with Bitcoin, I mean, so, banks use digital ledgers as well. That's where, when you go into your online bank and you check out what you have, that's just a digital ledger. And Bitcoin uses the exact same technology. The only difference is a bank uses their digital ledger. They have centralized servers that keep all of their information on these servers, and they all try and talk to each other. And hopefully the banks don't make mistakes, but we all know banks make mistakes like crazy. So it's not a foolproof system. And the reason why Bitcoin is so awesome is that it's trustless. So you don't have to trust anyone. You know, you trust mathematics, and you trust the fact that, you know, there's servers all over the world that are not centralized. People run them just for hobbies or for businesses, and everybody runs them. They're even in space. Everyone is in space now, and the blockchain's out there for everybody. And this blockchain is completely decentralized. It's in hundreds of thousands of locations around the world and in space. So it's much more safe than a few centralized servers or even dozens of centralized servers for a bank. In math, we trust, exactly. Because Bitcoin is math. So I had that conversation with people before this, well, I can't trust Bitcoin. It's like, well, can you trust math? What do you trust more? The bank, the government, or math? You can only pick one. Like, I pick math every time. You know, it's an easy one. Okay, so the nice thing about Bitcoin is you don't have to have trust. All right, so you don't have to trust with Bitcoin, and that's the best part, is that I can send it to anybody in the world. I don't have to know them, they don't have to know me, there doesn't have to be any kind of trust. We just send it, and we know it's gonna work because it's secured through the blockchain. It's a mathematical equation. Take it from my wallet, gives it to them wallet, and it's all recorded on the blockchain for all time. Because the blockchain's been running since 2009, and it's very effective. It's the most effective blockchain out there, the Bitcoin blockchain, and it works, hasn't been hacked, continuously keeps working. So ledgers are just, like, if, you know, we're old enough here that we've probably had checkbooks and you keep track of your balances, and that's all that the ledger is. It's just keeping track of balances and accounts. And it's a book or collectible of financial accounts of a particular type. Ledgers have been around forever, since the beginning of time. I mean, I'm sure there was a ledger in Jesus' time, you know, like
Keep going back further than that.
yeah, even further. I mean, Egyptians.
The Egyptians with their little
Yeah.
holes in it.
Yeah, well, even the guys who were hammering on the stones, and, you know, knocking chips of stone off. I mean, ledgers have been around forever. And Bitcoin is just a modern ledger. And we call that ledger the blockchain. So it's just a ledger, just like a checking account ledger. That's just what it is. There's a lot of technical stuff involved with it, but you really don't have to think about that part of it. And it's been around since 2009. Every single transaction that's ever been done is still verifiable. You can go back on it. You can look at it. If I sent you a transaction in 2010, you can go back and look at that exact transaction. So that's pretty cool. And it's immutable. It's decentralized, distributed public ledger that's all over the world. It's immutable, it can't be changed. That's a very trustworthy kind of situation where you can know for sure that what you put through this blockchain is going to be there forever.
Must try the CIA nuts.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of covert information that actually is recorded in the blockchain. It's very easy to put a small message in with your transaction. There's all sorts of things that have been encoded in there, and you can use the blockchain. And it's there forever. So
There forever, is it not all traceable?
yeah, 100%.
But then how can people not figure out where money's gone that has disappeared?
Well, because there's different ways to do that, but it's traceable, but it's only traceable from an anonymous wallet to an anonymous wallet. So if you know who owns an anonymous wallet, say for instance, someone uses a wallet from a centralized exchange, that's not anonymous on that end.
Yeah.
Because the exchange generated the wallet for them. And to the exchange, they gave all their information for KYC, their name, phone number, address, driver's license, passport, blah, 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 blah. That's not anonymous. Now, if you were doing it from, like from a completely like from a Trezor, from a hardware wallet to another hardware wallet. Well, those are two anonymous generated addresses that's sending from one to another. So, okay, if you knew what that address was, you could look it up on the blockchain. But if you didn't know what the address was, what would you look for?
So you can see the transaction, but you
How
don't
would
know,
you even see
you
the
don't know,
transaction?
but you don't,
Because there's hundreds of thousands of transactions like every day.
But even if you got one that's already known and it's going to a dead end, because it's that wallet, that address never gets used ever again. It's
Well,
dead.
but what they do at that scenario is they go from the one that's known and they say, where did you send it? That's what they do in that scenario. So as long as it comes from a wallet that is completely decentralized, like in other words, something like a trust wallet or a hardware wallet or a core wallet, a Bitcoin core wallet, which holds the entire blockchain. And if you've never associated that public address with your name in any kind of way, that's pretty anonymous. I mean, you can't, it's kind of like seeing all these transactions and not knowing where they came from, who they came from, and it could be happening all over the world. Where you see these sleuths that actually track the chains, what they do is they always start from a centralized position, always. It's always from an exchange, or someone has posted on Reddit with their public address, and they said, oh, send me some Bitcoin for a tip, or something. This is how they track it down. It's by people volunteering information. That's how it gets tracked down. So you, at some point, even on your ledger or your Trezor, there's a point when you're setting those up where they ask you for your email address. Do you want to be on our mailing list? Do you want to give me your email address? Well, once you've done that, then they have a trace back.
yeah, okay.
Now, you don't have to. That's an anonymous thing. You opt into that if you want to get their newsletters and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't opt into that, you keep it completely anonymous. I don't know if it's available on the ledger, but the Trezor now allows you to go through the Tor network, which is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Tor network. That's, they call it dark web. Dark web, heard of dark web. It's basically an anonymized version of the internet. It's called the dark web. And you have to encrypt yourself onto it, and it goes through this dark web, and then it gets unencrypted on the other end. So it's like a tunnel kind of situation where nobody can trace what's happening. And the Trezor can actually use the Tor network to do transactions through the web. So depends on your level of, paranoia. You can go to whatever level you want, but ultimately with Bitcoin, it's pretty secure. And if that is a concern, you can go to one of the privacy-concentric coins. Like you can go to a Monero, you can go to Zcash, you can go to. I can't recommend that one because that's not a big enough liquidity for it to be. That's one that you can end up holding a lot of bags. We don't want to do that. But Monero, Zcash, Mimblewimble with Litecoin, all these are, and there's lots of other privacy coins, but you have to watch when you're doing things with privacy coins because some of them don't have a very big market cap. And this is one of the things we talked about earlier, like USDT. Like USDT, for all its faults, if I want to go out there and buy a whole whack of it, I can get it instantly.
Yes.
USDC even is harder to come by than USDT. So that's why sticking to USDT is a good idea if you want to. You want to venture into stable token because there's large liquidity on all exchanges and even through DEXs and everything else like that. It's very easy to move USDT. So I don't recommend holding long-term USDT, but if you're doing transactions, you're moving things around between exchanges and stuff like that, it's awesome. Okay, so it's just blocks of transactions. That's really what they're doing. And they're laying one block on top of the other block. Each block is encrypted. So as time goes on, if you wanted to hack a block, you have to go hack every single block all the way through. It's not possible with today's technology. Don't let anybody tell you that it is. You'll hear rumblings of quantum computing. Well, there's not a viable quantum computer out there. And arguably, people are saying there are some abilities actually come up and proven it in a functional kind of everyday use case anyways. And anyways, it's not an issue because if they have a functional quantum computer, they won't be bothered with blockchain. They'll take on the trillions of dollars that are available in the fiat industry already. So quantum computing is not something to think about. The blockchain is secure and safe. So each one is cryptographically hashed and it's tied to the block previous to it, and they're linked. And so that makes it immutable. It never changes. And you can count on it year after year. block after block. So there's a lot of things that blockchain is going to start doing over time now. If you guys ever need work to be done, this one is actually pretty good. Upwork.com, I've used them before. It's a freelancing website. Pardon me. You can get any kind of work done, really. You can get software work, you can get web work, any kind of consulting done, all through Upwork. And you can put it on there, designers, developers, all sort of professionals are using it now. And you can verify it all through the blockchain. So think of the blockchain as just like a database, and it timestamps and saves all the information, all the transactions. And smart contracts can run on top of the blockchain to give it increased functionality. So like, for instance, you could have a transaction where, hey, I want to get my house painted, I'm going to hire Brock, and we're going to put it on a smart contract that says that we're going to have 2 independent people come in and verify his work, and if his work's good, we're going to pay. I mean, that can all be put into a smart contract, and these triggers can happen. So Brock says, finish the work, verified, done, paid. And you never have to worry about not getting paid. You never have to worry about, 90 days, 120 days getting paid. It can all be built into, and there's lots of smart contract framework that's out there where you can build these sort of things into them. Okay. So that's the thing, it settles immediately. So if the 2 inspectors come out, Brock says, finish the work, 2 inspectors come out, good to go, boom, happens immediately. There's no delay. It's instantaneous. And most of the projects can have what and then types of questions. So when framing is done, the electrical can begin. Or you can take it to any level you want. If that, then that, and results. So you can program it. It's Turing complete. In other words, you can answer questions within the blockchain. So what's a crypto wallet? Which one should I use? And what's the best? Paper wallets. I think we talked about paper wallets. Paper wallets are good, but you have to know how to generate them. And they are arguably dangerous because people lose them, they get destroyed. And sometimes people create them on websites that are malicious. Like some of these websites say, hey, create a paper wallet with my website, and they generate private keys. Well, guess what? That's on someone's server. Like that's, you have to actually download open source software, scan it, make sure it's clean, wipe your machine, put that on a disk, put a fresh build of the operating system on the machine, generate your paper wallets, wipe the machine again, and then you would have safe paper wallets. But not many people will go through that kind of work.
You have talked about how you're not going to talk about paper wallets.
Yeah, I know, but people ask about them all the time. So. We've taken them off all our machines. I left one in the downtown location just because I got a guy there that knows what he's doing and he wants to buy the paper wallet. So, but all the other machines in town, I took away all the paper wallets just because people would lose them. Or they're on this thermal paper. They put them next to one guy put it in the sun. It's flat. Like it's gone. He says, well, can't you get me a copy? No, I can't. It's a legit wallet. Like there was a one-time generation and that's gone forever. Well, come on. I'm sorry, man. So I always tell people if you're getting thermal paper wallet, you have to make a photocopy of it right away. But don't make a photocopy of it like Staples. You got to be careful. There's a lot to think about with paper wallets. That's why I generally don't recommend them. And unencrypted paper wallets. If you ever do a paper wallet, please do an unencrypted paper wallet. Because I've had several clients who have done encrypted paper wallets, and it sounds great until 4 or 5 years later, you go, oh shit, what was that password? So I helped this guy. He has a paper wallet, it has like 5 Bitcoin on it, and go to draw it in. I said, oh, it's an encrypted paper wallet. He says, what do you mean? And I said, well, you put a password on it. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Sorry, man. And he didn't know his password. That was it. Again, it's a high level of encryption. Like you're not going to guess that password. I mean, unless he can guess it socially by writing down a bunch of his passwords.
I got a story for you later.
Oh, good. I'd love to hear it. So that's why paper wallets are really not a good idea. And you have to store them properly too. You have to make sure they're in a safe, fireproof safe. If they burn up, it's gone. If it goes through the wash in your pocket, it's gone. I mean, everything, anything, it's gone. So, yeah, paper wallet's not that great. They can be split into, you know, you can take the words, you can put some words here, some words there, some words there. In my experience, people that do that, they never find all the words. And they lose themselves. So, yeah. Just don't recommend them at all. Okay, web wallet. Well, there's a few different types of web wallets. There's some that hold the private key, and there's some where you hold the private key. If you have to generate a whole bunch of words when you set up the wallet, that's the right kind of wallet to get. A wallet's something like a Coinbase wallet that's tied to your account, where you never have to generate anything, you never wrote down any words. Those are the kinds of things that, yeah, they own the coins. You don't own the coins. So those are not a good kind. And there's hybrid wallets. Some of them, like for instance, the Trust Wallet, what they do is they keep track of the blockchain for you so that your wallet can function and that your phone doesn't have to have a gigabyte worth of data on it just for, just for the blockchain, which is the only other way to do it. So they'll keep a copy of the blockchain, but you own the private key. So you own the wallet and you can reproduce that wallet, put it on any other web wallet that you want, or on Trust down there too. Managed web wallets are how coins are hacked. That's what we saw. This is I had Mt. Gox, Bitstamp, MintPal, FTX, Quadriga, so many. That's how people lose crypto. It's the number one way how people use crypto is by putting them on exchanges. And then the exchange collapses. And you've got monopoly money. When it collapses, you just have monopoly. That's it. Brain wallet. That's kind of an interesting one. I think I've shown you guys this one before. So basically a brain wallet, there's a brain wallet generator out there. And all it does is it hashes any phrase that you want to put into it in SHA 256. So this is the phrase that I put in there. This is an example of a hashing a brain wallet in SHA 256, comma, what do you think? And also I've got uppercase, lowercase letters, different places. So, I mean, and this with the SHA, no space in there, comma, all of that then gets hashed, and that's what it comes out as. 1KAH, 1D. Now I could send crypto to that Bitcoin wallet, no problem. And I can pick it up because I have the private key as well. Now this particular one generates a private key at the same time. So there's your private key right there. So if you had a wallet right now and I had a whole fortune in there, you could literally take your phone and you could suck all those funds right. There's nothing in there. It wouldn't do you anything. And then of course the hardware wallet, which is the one that I recommend people go with. And we do have those hardware wallets now. Anybody that wants a Trezor in the next little while, for CryptoNuts members, they can have them for $100. We normally sell them for $200. So that's like a 50% off. So I got a special buy on them from, interestingly enough, the one in the corner there, the BitAccess machine, BitAccess, Canadian company that created the first company in the world to create Bitcoin ATMs. I got bought up by one of their largest companies that were Bitcoin ATM operators in the States. Bitcoin Depot bought them up. We have 15,000 Bitcoin ATMs in the world, or actually in North America. And they bought up BitAccess. And when they did that, BitAccess was given all these Trezors. So I bought all of them from them. So a whole bunch. So Trezors are the one that I like, but any of them are good. Just some of them are a little more confusing to use than that. You can use them, you can interact with them. A paper wallet, you can't interact with them. You can store tokens on there, but if you ever want to spend those tokens, you have to draw them into a wallet of some sort. Not a Trezor, it has to be drawn into something like a web wallet or something like that, but you could then spend those tokens. So with a hardware wallet, you've got hardware-based encryption. It keeps it air-gapped from the internet, so you're safe. Nobody's going to hack it from you. And it's open source software too, which is really important. Like the Trezor and the Ledger, they post all their software updates up there on the web on GitHub. You can check if you're a software developer, you can look at the source code and make sure that it's legitimate, that nothing malicious is going on there. And even if you're not, people do that all the time. So you can just use other people's work.
And if you're a serious gearhead, their hardware is open source. So you can download the files for generating circuit boards or 3D printing the cases and parts lists, so you can build your own card.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A number of the ones that came after the Trezor were actually forked from that. And Ledger, they forked a whole bunch from Ledger as well. Yeah. So Ledger and OS, they all have their unique things, but that they do a little bit differently. Some of the ledgers carry more tokens than some of the treasures and vice versa. So open source embedded Bitcoin app. I hate Ledger's app, Ledger Live. I think it's absolute crap, but that's just a personal opinion. Obviously, I don't get anything from Ledger or from Trezor, but their software is awful. I'm sorry, it's terrible. 4-digit, 6-digit PIN you can use to lock it. So if someone happens to steal your device, you have a PIN in there to protect it. And built-in onboarding, seed generation and recovery. So in other words, it'll randomly generate 24 words for you to write down. So in the case that you lose your device, you can put those words back in on another device and get it back up and running. And bit 39 seed phrases, so you can do 12, 18, or 24 words. So that's part of the equation, by the way. If someone's trying to hack your Trezor, trying to guess your words, they don't know whether you use 12 words, 18 words, or 24 words. So that means that they have to guess with all 3 different ones of those. And then they have to take the pool of words that it could be and guess against all of those. So when you put all of those guesses in there, it's a lot of guessing. And it makes them almost unhackable.
What is bit 31?
It's just a protocol that allows you to use either 12, 18, or 24 words in the private key. Yeah. Multi-app support, FIDO, U2F, GPG, SSH. So all that means is that other places can tie into it. They allow application programming interface that people can get tied into. That's where you see things like lots of different MetaMask, using MetaMask with the Trezor. That's an API tie-in like this, where they tie in with the ledger. And there's lots of different tokens that do that, lots of different, like, I think even several of the DEXs now are allowing you to use your ledger and use your Trezor to interact with them. So you can always keep your private seed protected behind hardware encryption, and yet you can still use all the functionality. And even some of the staking tokens and things like that, you can now do with hardware wallets. So there's not a lot you can't do with hardware wallets now. And the ones you can't do with hardware wallets, I don't recommend people do, because odds are you're going to lose your tokens. And I mean, I interestingly enough, just before, you guys are familiar with Nexo, NEXO? Nexo is a lending platform, very big, very popular. Well, they went down. And I know I want to say, well, FTX fiasco's been a month, so maybe 3 months ago, I had one of my clients come to me and tell me, you've got to get everything that you have into this Nexo.
Oh, I hate that kind of shit.
Because they are paying such returns that you only need to have it there for like 3 months or 6 months and you'll make so much. And I said, can you run it with a hardware wallet? Can I run it through my ledger or through my Trezor? Well, no. Thank you. I'm done. Because that's it right there. Look what happened. That guy lost a fortune. He had everything on Nexo. He's making great returns. But guess what? Centralized entity, FTX goes down, BlockFi, Nexo, a whole bunch of them are going to keep dropping down. And that's all because you're trusting someone else. These ones are foldable. They're kind of small, kind of cute, terrible screen.
Yeah.
Trezor is my favorite. Even the original Trezor, the Trezor One is still a fine device. It works great. I've got my original one from 2013. And it's only, if you ever see someone who has a Trezor and it's gray, they're old school because they don't make gray ones. I think it was the very first run of Trezors. Still works to this day. That's still one of the ones that I use all the time. So I don't know what happened to my little leather case though. I wonder what I did with that. That was a cool case.
Is that the case here?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I don't have that on my Trezor right now. Where did that go? Okay. So the Trezor is very similar. Recovery seed generation, again, bit 39, bit 44, anywhere from 2 to 6 PIN digits, and also, again, it's just a PIN protection. They have a unique kind of interface for the PIN protection whereby they scramble the number key so that it's different every time. So if someone's watching you, they can't repeat the pattern and get your code that way.
Leery-eyed in the morning before first coffee starts.
Oh, it can be a tough one. Yeah. There's a setup guide. It's really good. They have a really good setup guide, really good user interface, and their software actually works.
I have
Quite well.
fingers.
Yeah.
I have to use a.
Over the Model T. Or-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
because the other one
to-
just has the two buttons. That's it.
Yeah, I have a pen that I have to use because my fingers are too fat.
Oh. Okay, Trust Wallet, Ethereum and nuts. So we don't have to go through this one because we've done that. You guys all have wallets already. You guys have been in crypto for a while, so we won't do that. But alternatives to Bitcoin, altcoins, there's lots of them. ERC-20 really confuses a lot of people. It just means that it was created on the Ethereum blockchain. It's like a block. Ethereum is a programmable blockchain. So basically all that it means is that you can program a token on it. You can program software on it. You can program decentralized exchanges on it. Anything you can think of, you can program on it. It's confusing, it's kludgy. It's not like normal programming languages because it was designed for something else, but eventually it'll get there.
Was it Tornado Cash at the smart contract?
I need to cover your fingers. I need to upgrade. my-
So these are all just different tokens, alternate coins to Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, favorite problems.
Bitcoin Cash, being, of course, the first fork of Bitcoin.
Turtle Coin.
I know what it is.
Turtle coin was big for a while there. This is just
It
jargon.
was bunny coin.
Money coin, yeah. KYC, know your customer, AML, anti-money laundering laws, and company name and coin name like XRP and Ripple. Ripple is the company, XRP is the token. That confuses a lot of people because one's a company and it's a for-profit company, the other is a token. Apparently a decentralized token, but they own 70% of it, so how decentralized, I don't know. 2FA, two-factor authentication, that's something that everybody should use for any interaction with the internet that involves any kind of financial activity, whether it's crypto or traditional financial activity. You should always use two-factor authentication. Google has a free app that you can download to your phone, and most of these sites allow you to initiate two-factor authentication. That's the only protection that you have right now for these sites. They're going to get everything from you if you don't.
A lot of the Canadian banks are doing that now.
Yeah. You have to. Smart contracts, we talked about that one. Coin token is kind of an interchangeable thing. Years ago, they used to say that coins have their own blockchain and tokens are created on a blockchain. That's how it initially came out. Now it's used interchangeably. Rig can be this, can be a GPU rig, can be a mining rig, everything's a rig if it's used for mining cryptocurrency. Miner, hash. Hashing is just the power of the machine, how quickly you can do calculations on the network to solve complex mathematical equations and get a reward for doing that. Cold storage, that's air gap from the internet, either paper wallet or hardware wallet. FOMO, fear of missing out. Fork is when a crypto forks and creates another crypto from that. The most famous one being Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. I think that's one of the largest creations of wealth from nothing that's ever happened in human history. So kind of amazing that you can just say, hey, we got two now. And however many Bitcoin you had at that time when the fork happened, you have that much Bitcoin Cash.
Then there's SRP.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many forks on Bitcoin now. There's Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Private, Bitcoin ABC, which now is XEC. Oh, it's that. Yeah. Fork, wrapped Bitcoin is not Bitcoin. Wrapped Bitcoin is wrapping Bitcoin on another contract. Yeah. ICO initial coin offering market cap is just the total valuation of the token. This is very confusing. Market cap confuses a lot of people. I can create a token right now. I can go over to my computer, take me about half an hour. I can create a token. I can sell Betty one of my tokens for $1. And Betty hands me $1 and says, yeah, I'll take that token for $1. Betty may not even know I have 10 million tokens. Well, guess what my market cap is now? It's $10 million. What have I sold? One token. But I've got 10 million of them and they're worth $1 each. $10 million market cap. Doesn't mean that's the actual value of the token. These tokens can be a number of different places. And some people think that FTX is one of the best examples of that. I mean, they would take deposits in through Alameda, then Alameda would go into their margin account, right? And when you have a margin account with an exchange, they will lend you money. So then they would lend money, send it out to the client, and you have that money to increase their market position. So it's like double the amount. So not only did it show that Alameda got $1,000, FTX also got $1,000. So it was showing us double the amount, so it makes things look really, really good, but it's all just, it's fun money.
So then if the price of a token changes, does that change the market cap?
So now if Betty goes to sell it to you, and she sells that for only 80 cents instead of $1, our market cap just goes down to $8.
Part of the problem too is that a lot of funds, a lot of exchanges and stuff, said that they had this much money in liquidity,
Yes.
but 80% of the liquidity was their own token,
Yeah.
of which they created out of thin air and said, well, we sold 1 million of them for $1 each, therefore the next 10 million must be worth $1 each too. It doesn't mean there's liquidity to do. It
No.
doesn't mean that they
Doesn't mean
can get
anybody
the
will buy it.
liquidity to get back to cover the reserve to be able to lend.
That's why they were buying out everybody's USDT and USDC for their tokens and then dumping that right away. Because they got as much of their own tokens as they want, they just keep creating. Market cap POS, proof of stake, that's what Ethereum went to from proof of work. In other words, instead of a complex mathematical calculation to get a reward, you now just put it in something like a bank account. And for putting it in the bank account, the network uses it and they pay you a reward for that. That's proof of stake. Proof of work is a fancy device like this. It's out there on the internet working and solving problems, and it's proving itself, it's working, and it's getting paid a reward for doing that. ROI means return on investment. So how long will it take you? Like we were joking a little earlier, I think that Avalon miner, even though I think it makes 96 cents a day, I want to say, even though it's a 96 terahash miner, man, if I had that in 2013, I'd be a billionaire right now. Needless to say, that never happened. Technical analysis is TA, and a whale is just someone who has a lot of tokens. And sometimes they can fluctuate the price of a token by selling or buying more. And that's why they're a whale, because when they splash, everybody gets wet. Scams, Canada Revenue Agency, they do not take cryptocurrency. So, I know it sounds crazy, but I get phone calls at least semi-monthly basis from someone that says they need to send money to pay their income tax. It's like, oh, no, that's a scam, but these guys are really good at this. Like, I've actually spoken to some of these scammers and they're very believable. Like it amazes me, but people still fall for it. A new job offer, it's too good to be true. It is. They'll send you $5,000. They'll say, oh, go put 4,500 into a banking machine. They'll say, wait a minute, or go put 4,500 into a Bitcoin ATM. Wait a minute, that Bitcoin ATM, well, some of them, not ours, but some of them in town charge 25%. Ours are 10 to 15% range, but they're charging 25%. Wait a minute, this company now gave me $5,000. They let me keep 500, and they're willing to take a 25% hit. How do they make money? Well, the way they make money is they steal someone's identity. They use their debit cards to make e-transfers to your account, which then gets credited to your account. You take the cash out, you think you're wealthy, and then a little while later, because it's fraud, everything gets reversed on your bank account. So this has happened to lots and lots of people, even in town here. It's one of the reasons I went and started doing crypto nuts, was because people were getting scammed this way. And so again, a loved one in the country needs money. No. Your lover from overseas needs money. No, not Bitcoin. No, because if you're sending that, you're never getting it back. Pump and dumps, that's super popular. I mean, BitBoy is getting raked over the coals now because I don't know if everybody's heard of BitBoy. He's the one who flew over to Bahamas to confront SBF, and he's hitting some headlines lately. But CoffeeZilla does a good little thing on BitBoy and his whole scam and what he's up to. So that's a good one. He's been involved in several pump and dumps. The whole idea is they get these influencers, they give them a whole bunch of tokens to promote their token, and then when the token pumps up, they sell all their tokens off and they rug pull. And poor people that bought it thinking it's going to go up are left with worthless.
I've actually had one person approach me.
Yeah, of course you.
As an influencer.
Yeah. Because they'll try to get as many people as they can, because that's the only way they can get these tokens to pump, because they're absolute garbage. And they're stuck, they got a whole bunch of it, so they want to pump so they can make their money back. Any investment opportunity, if they start saying, well, SBF is a good example of that again, the returns are too good. If you're making too much money, it's a house of cards, it's gonna collapse. I mean, nobody can pay 365% a year. I mean, I've had this argument with people in this very meetup, in this very room, telling me that you gotta get involved in this again, 365% interest a year. No, it's a scam. Like, why don't you get about a scam? Like, nobody pays that because it's totally unsustainable, because with $1,000, you'd be a billionaire in 2 years. So it's just a scam. So bottom line is what we say is never send any currency to anyone that you don't know. And that's really, really good advice, because if you don't know who you're sending it to on the other end, you're getting scammed. Simple as that. Now it's a family member, a friend, or an investment that you know someone, personally know someone. Great. Crypto's great for that. Makes it fast and easy. How do you get Bitcoin? From us. Yeah, we've been selling Bitcoin for a while, and that's what we do. That's how we make money. We don't make money through crypto. That's we make money selling cryptocurrency. You can buy from an exchange. Oh, sorry, you can buy from an exchange. There's several exchanges out there. It gets difficult to buy from an exchange because a lot of banks will block or cancel your account if you use it with exchanges. And it's happened to me numerous times. It's happened to members within the group numerous times. Banks are not your friend in Canada when it comes to cryptocurrency. What I recommend to clients and CryptoNuts members is, if you want to buy an exchange, you want to do activity that way, set up a bank account with a new bank. Put your funds into there so that if you lose that bank, it's not going to cause you financial harm. Because if you've got investments, you've got your mortgage, and you've got all this stuff with this bank, and then you set up a cryptocurrency account, and you lose that bank account, it's going to cause you financial harm. You shouldn't be doing that. Because odds are they're going to cancel your account. And I got to tell you, we've been canceled by most of the major banks in Canada. This happens all the time. And we didn't owe them anything, by the way. All they ever did is make money from us. So they don't care about that. They've record profits, right? Buy from BTM. BTMs are traditionally a little more expensive to buy from than exchanges, or to buy from us over the counter. The reason for that is simple. It's convenience. It's quick. It's easy. You can put just a few bucks in. You know, if you're buying from us and you're buying, like, I won't meet with you if you're buying $100 worth of Bitcoin. It's just, I'll send you to one of our Bitcoin ATMs. It's not that I don't appreciate the sales. It's just, you know, you're making, if it's 10%, you're making $10. You know, it's not a big money making thing. But you can buy from people, but I don't really recommend doing that, because, you know, you're meeting someone that you don't know with a big bunch of cash in your pocket. So it's a risky proposition. So I really don't recommend doing that. I know it's popular. And when I first got into this in 2013, I met with Sean. Everybody knows Sean. And that was my first incursion into Bitcoin. You couldn't get Bitcoin anywhere else. He was a local guy that was doing Bitcoin in 2013, and I needed some to buy these miners right here. They're really fancy looking things. They're the coolest doorstop that I have right now, because they're not, well, they're great heaters. It's man, they generate heat. That's 1.35 terahash, $1,350.
How much gold's on that thing though?
Maybe a little bit of silver, no gold. A little bit of silver, but it looks cool. That's why I have it. And I spent a fortune on them, but they earned a whole bunch of Bitcoin, so I can't. In the time when these came out, they were 1.35 terahash. Up until that point, the fastest thing out there was 300 megahash. So yeah, they were like, wow. That's what I had 8 of those running here in the building. Oh my God, it was so hot here. It was insane.
The fastest I know is 144 terahash.
Yeah, that's a new difference.
Yes.
Yeah. 2920. 2920 watts, 2920 watts, 144 terahash.
That's the same power as all the other S19.
Yep, all the same power. Just a little more efficient than this. So you can mine them as well. It's hard to mine Bitcoins now because the equipment's expensive and the return is small. But if you need heat, you live in Canada, it's still a good thing.
Or you can work for it.
Yeah, work for Bitcoin. That's great. Yeah,
But
you can. Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to go. I've got a T-shirt that says "We'll work for Bitcoin." Nobody's ever offered to pay me Bitcoin.
It's a lot easier for people in different countries.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you do anything over the internet, it's great, and you're guaranteed to get paid.
Right.
So yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's one of the best ways to get rid of scammers. Is scammers are saying, "Oh yeah, you know, I've got millions of dollars I want to send you." Easiest way to say is, you know what? I don't think you're legit. Send me $200 worth of Bitcoin. to prove you're legit. You'll never hear from them again. Because Bitcoin's a one-way trip, and they're there to get your money, not to give you money, like they say they're going to. So there's just a few places that handle cryptocurrency. There's lots of ways to get cryptocurrency into traditional kind of worlds. You can get gift cards, you can use credit cards, there's lots of different ways to use it now. There's lots of vendors that are doing it now. I don't know if the best sleep centers even around them, but they work.
I think so.
They're still around.
They're still, their advertisements are still playing.
Okay, so they were taking Bitcoin. I don't know if they're still doing it. It's actually Chia was doing it for a while too. So Tesla's not doing it anymore. Tesla is actually taking Doge in their store for accessories. Yeah, for their merchandise, they take it. And let's see, applications and websites for more information. These are some of the ones that I talked about a little bit earlier. Blockfolio, Bitcoin Talk, Reddit, BitcoinTalk.org. I got it twice because it's 2 times important. Coin Market Cap, Reddit. Again, 2 times Reddit too. It's important too. Discord, CryptoNuts.com, YouTube, CryptoNuts Facebook page. Yeah, I don't have all of them on there, but quite a few of them. And our BTM locations, which are not up to date. We've got locations all around town. Anybody that needs it. From now on, all I'm going to have this thing say is winnipegBTC.com/locations. That's what I changed it to, and then I keep it dynamic from the website that way. So, because donations change sometimes. Most of these are still active, but donations do change. Locations change. So NewbieTues Tuesdays, first Tuesday of the month, 7 to 9 p.m. here. CryptoNuts monthly meetups. We've been doing it for over 6 years now, coming on 7 years now. And find us on Facebook at CryptoNuts and sponsored by Winnipeg BTC. And of course, we have machines all around town. I think that's it. If that's all, thanks, guys.
I've got a few questions.
Awesome. Ask away. Let me just get another beer and another fucking mug. Then I'll answer all your questions. Don't go with places like that. Go with places that are more like what I'm doing here. People that are trying to teach people about cryptocurrency and they don't want you to have the money. I want you to have the money, but that's Winnipeg BTC. That's not CryptoNuts. And Coin Bureau is a really good one. Coin Bureau on YouTube. Just spells out the way it sounds. Coin Bureau. And again, it's about education with them. There's lots. Andreas Antonopoulos. He's the guy who wrote that Mastering Bitcoin. There we go. I can't even remember my own book. But yeah, Mastering Bitcoin. Andreas Antonopoulos. That's another one. But some of these schemas where they're, all they're trying to do sometimes is just feed you a whole bunch of information so they can ask you for money. And I don't know if that's the case with you, but I can tell you I see it a lot.
I watch ELI.
Most of the time they're just recommending things like DeFi. They talk about DeFi a lot.
DeFi is good, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated. You have to have a high degree of technical skill to do that. I don't often recommend that clients get involved in that unless they're pretty much IT people or something. Yeah, DeFi stands decentralized finance.
Yeah.
It's a decentralized Web2-based interface that you can use a wallet to connect up and transfer tokens for other benefits and things like that.
Okay, one of the things that's come up is halving. What is halving?
Halving is what I talked about earlier when I said that the Litecoin block rewards are going to go in half. So in other words, in the case of Litecoin, after so many blocks are discovered, and Bitcoin as well, they lower the rewards down, thereby decreasing the supply of tokens that are being awarded, hopefully increasing the value of the tokens. So halving means that they will half the rewards that's being offered to the miners. So in other words, miners are making 12.5 right now, and then next year they're going to go down to 6.25. You're making half the amount. That's halving. Scarcity, yeah. They hope that the more scarcity causes it to increase, and it has with Bitcoin and several other tokens, but there's no guarantee of that. It doesn't mean that because that halving is going to happen, the tokens are going to automatically go up in value. That doesn't, not the case. To believe that is Well, yeah, you could believe it's Tampa too, right?
But if you.
I do.
The history,
We even look like them. That's my investing advice. I don't give any investing advice at all, no way. But if you're investing in crypto, try and buy it when it's close to its all-time low. Try and sell it when it's close to its all-time high. Right now, Bitcoin and several other tokens are 8% or 20% of the value they used to be not that long ago. So now is a very, very good time to get involved in it. If you're planning on holding for the long term, we can go through this kind of bear market for another, it could happen for a couple, 3 more years, easily. But buying in now is for long-term goals. It's a good bet.
You bought $100 worth of Bitcoin back when it started, what, 2009, you said?
Yeah, they all say that.
And you held through all the way ups and downs.
Yeah,
Today, your $100 Bitcoin would be worth $77 million.
yeah, they all say that. And that's just a load.
And if I bought Amazon, when Amazon.
Let's assume
I'd be happy too.
that doesn't work. That kind of thinking doesn't work. Because nobody's like that. Humans are not like that. Let's say you buy something for $1,000 and it goes up to $2,000 in value. 100%. You just made 100% on your original investment. 8 out of 10 people will sell it that way. They've made 100%. They've put in 1,000. They've now sold it for 2,000. They've made $1,000 profit. Very, very few people will hold longer than that. And some people, if there's some that do, some lose, some through inadvertent ways, some,
those ones that had paper wallets and melted their papers.
yeah, pretty much, yeah, they've still got all their coins, they can get them, but they've got them. But you talk to most people who've been in this for a long time, and I'm using the example of 1,000. Okay, let's say that 1,000 now goes to 10,000, 10 times. What are you gonna do? You're gonna keep hanging on? You made $9,000 profit. What's your objective? Your objective is to make profit, right? So if you're, if you want to buy crypto and you want to hang on to it for, I don't know, 20 years, yeah, you probably will be able to do it. Even buying it today, you hang on to it for 5 years. Odds are you're going to make a shit ton of money. But where's your cash out point? Does that $1,000 investment have to go to 10,000? Well, what if it goes to 20,000 now? Now you made 20 times your investment. Well, what if it goes to 85,000? Because Bitcoin in Canada went to 85,000. So that $1,000 investment right now, you could now cash out for 85,000. Are you going to keep hanging on? If you do, it's worth 23,000 right now. You just lost $60,000.
Oh, we will know that.
Shiba.
How do you tell when to sell? When to
Remember,
buy low, sell high?
yeah, I just
What do you tell you're at the maximum value that it's ever going to go?
you can't because you don't know where it's going to go, but you know where it's been.
Yeah.
So when it starts getting close to where it's been, sell.
I mean, I just bought $150 worth of Ethereum, okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, if that ran, I don't know what can't remember what it said Ethereum is at right now.
1,700.
1725.30.
17,025.
$1,725.30.
Okay, $1,700. Okay, so that Ethereum went up to
Ethereum has been as high as 4,500 Canadian.
4,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 4 times the value.
Yeah. Okay. So if I were to take my Ethereum and sell it when it reaches 45,000, 4,500.
Yeah. Or 45,000. You can make that.
4,500. Okay, let's go 4,500. If I sold it then and it went higher yet,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm leaving money on the table.
Boo-hoo.
That's what we all.
Right?
So how, like I said, so how do you know the optimum time?
Age-old question.
You don't. Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Anybody that tells you they
Any
do is
expert?
lying to you.
Yeah, any expert who says they do, they don't know.
No, they're lying.
But you,
And that's why I said when you get close to, and because you can't time it.
Yeah.
So and again, you've got to decide your own strategy. Like, okay, I put in $150. When that gets to $300, I'm cashing out. That might be your strategy, and I don't know. You have to decide for yourself because it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
Right?
It
It's
is enough enough.
like that $1,000 that you put in, when it got to $85,000, guess what I would be doing?
What some people will do as soon as they break even, they sell a portion, they say the rest go up, and they sell another portion when they hit a certain milestone, and they sell into the climb.
Yeah.
Cause you never know where it finishes.
Sell on the way up and sell on the way down.
Yeah.
Well, that's most strategy.
Dollar cost averaging. That's a strategy.
Okay,
It's also,
another terminology that came up was sharding. What is sharding?
Charting.
Take credit down.
No, it's also in Ethereum as well. It's basically when they break off the, we should pull up the exact definition of this, but basically what they do is they break off the transactions into multiple pieces to increase the speed of the blockchain. That's my understanding. You might want to pull up the exact definition.
Okay, I guess that's all the questions I got.
All the questions for now, awesome, okay.
I just keep, speaking on the internet.
That's what you gotta do, keep plugging away. That's the best way. And eventually it all starts making sense.
Well, even now,